Subscribe to Boosted Lifestyle.
Hey, another day in paradise. Got a couple hours before I have to go to our convention in Edmonton. Trailer Park Boys are gonna be there. That's the only reason I want to go. Gina's gonna go because she's just a nerd.
Also,
I've totally seen this guy somewhere before.
have you?
I can't pinpoint, no.
We've got our new cylinder heads we have to put on the car, but we need new head gaskets. But we also need new head gaskets for the truck, and I'm getting both sets tomorrow. So in the meantime, we could probably get prepped and start pulling these heads off for what feels like the 43rd time now, I think. Something like that. It's bad. Now you would think pulling this apart 27 times would make it a lot easier, and it does. It just doesn't make the suck any less. Start by making some room. Now, this turbo looks like it's stuck down there in place, but I did make it relatively to take off. So look at it right now. We're gonna start a timer and we're gonna see how much disassemble I can get it in a certain amount of time. So I don't have any tools out right now, and I did put some forethought into this turbo kit, so the design works out really well. So like I said, no tools out now, and I'm gonna show you how quick that I can get the majority of this out. Starting now. I'm not running to get tools either. Eight minutes to get the turbo off. 8 minutes, and look at all the room up here. You can see why I designed it the way I designed it. Now the headers, they take a little bit of time. I think they're about 3 minutes each to get them off, just because you can get at the bolts. And yeah, so the whole turbo kit, like, I don't know, 12 minutes to pull off. Right here, I'm always thinking about fart smelling. Now, because we're also going to replace the camshaft in this one, the water pump has to come off, the front cover and the balancer also have to come off, which I think I might have to pull the radiator, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to try and do it without pulling the radiator. But worst case, Ontario, radiator's got to come out too. The last bolt in the header. If you're going to cheap out anywhere, these $300 Flotex have been a complete gem and awesome to work with, even though I totally just jinxed myself. But yeah, these things they've only cracked once, and it was only a really small crack. Yeah, these things have been awesome. They've only cracked once. I think it was on the other header, and it was like right here at the collector. I just had to TIG weld it a little tiny bit, but just support your turbo afterwards and you'll be fine. Tastes like China. And like a typical man, we never do things once. We always do it 5 or 6 times just to make sure we don't like it. That goes for everything. All right, let's pull these bad boys off. We're gonna use our break anything bar, just break everything loose. I didn't do it in any particular order because who cares about these cylinder heads. What I like to do is I like to pull all the studs out of the block. That way when I pull the heads, I'm not jamming my heads up on the studs, thinking. And then I always like to do the harder cylinder head first. That way when I get to the second cylinder head, it's like a treat because it's like a little tiny bit easier. It's kind of like when Dan shows up at Miles Mayhem, you're like, oh my god, he's such a celebrity, and then he talks to you and you're like, you melt a little bit. Exactly like that. Also, when you pull your cylinder head off, all that water that's stuck in the cylinder head is going to gush into your cylinders. Make sure you clean that out, or else you're going to go rust everywhere. And you know what engines don't like? A lot of boost, and then maybe some rust. We just got back from a convention over the weekend, and it feels like every time I come out this garage, this car is apart. Not liking it so far. Cylinder head, set of cylinder heads, another set of cylinder heads, 2 more sets of cylinder heads. Straight up not having a good time, except at the convention I totally got this clip. I was gonna dress up like you today. Alright. Cut the hair, but give him the day off. You said you want to go see strippers and stuff?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Is there a strip club in town?
A couple, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know
Like
that.
I was gonna dress up like you, he's gonna pay me $40. He didn't tell you guys?
No.
Yeah, he's gonna pay me $40 dress up like that.
He's lying,
Sounds
boys.
right.
He was lying. I don't do anything without you guys involved. So what's it called? I have to check it out.
Boosted Lifestyle.
Boosted Lifestyle.
Boosted Lifestyle.
Boosted Lifestyle.
All right, we'll check
And what's
it out.
going on with Boosted Lifestyle? What is it?
Just a bunch of car bullshit.
Nice. Like what kind
Have you
of
ever seen a
carburetors?
Mustang with 8 turbos on it?
No, that's cool. That sounds pretty.
Yeah.
8 turbos.
His mother's got 8 turbos on her.
Oh,
That's a terrible thing to say.
Oh, it's true, man.
all right. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, cheers, man.
Could I just get a quick subscribe to Boosted Lifestyle?
Subscribe to Boosted Lifestyle.
Thanks, guys.
right,
Appreciate it.
And I'm totally having a good time. Now, despite my better judgment, we are swapping heads right at the end of the season, so who knows if we'll even have enough time to go to the track again. Oh, it's peeing! Head gaskets are real good for only used 2 times. Who wants them? 10 bucks each. So here's our 2-cylinder heads. This is our new one. This is the Trick Flow, and this one is our China one, which I'm not going to name because I don't want to name it. Visually, I can see a couple of things. It looks like this port right here has been CNC'd, and this one has not. And just physically, you can see that there's a bunch more webbing between all of this. I don't know if that's going to help increase strength and clamp down capacity, but it's all open on this one right here. And then just on this surface right here, I can tell that the pushrod holes in this one are actually slightly smaller than the pushrod holes on this one. And you can see the pushrod holes are a little bit smaller on this one than they are on this one. And you also notice that the passages in the heads are definitely different between the two. These two only run those ones, and then these ones have some in the back as well. Let's just move it around to the intake side. Now, one thing I do notice is that on both of these cylinder heads, the rocker for the intake port actually goes through the intake, so we'll definitely have to silicone those. Now, I know physically the CCs on the China one are more than the ones on the Trick Flow, and a good test is like the your mom test, where you just see how many fingers you can fit in there. This one fits 4 pretty comfortably. This one doesn't fit 4 all the way in there. But what I'm told is that this one will flow much better with better airspeed than this one will. So I'm told. And like I said, I'm not an expert on all of this. That's why I consult with other people. Let's just turn it one more time. Get to the valve spring part. Now this is the weirdest part. You can see that this head back here is definitely physically longer than this head right here in the cross section. This one is 5.5 inches across, and this one just under 5. The weirdest thing about that is that it makes your push rods longer in this one. It also makes your valves longer, so your valves are heavier, which is why I'm told I needed the big springs in here. So these are 750 springs with, I don't know, the seat pressure in it, and I believe these are 660 springs. So we went down in spring size. We're also gonna go down in cam just so we can give the motor a fighting chance. But the thing I hated the most is if we turn to the exhaust valve here, is that because this head was so much like taller, the exhaust no longer fit where it used to fit. And I used to have to like crank down the turbo kit in order to get the turbo kit to fit on the engine. I believe that these ones are more in a stock location because the head is physically smaller than that one was. And just by looking at it, it does look like because they made this head longer, they were able to make more volume in this exhaust valve. But because I'm no expert, like I said, overall, I'm told that the Trick Flow will definitely outperform the China one. Buy once, cry once, they say. Also, I've seen these 3 holes on all of them. What are they for? Somebody tell me, please, because I have no idea. I've seen them in all the heads, and then I've never used them, and I just don't know what they're for. Now what we have to do is we have to pull this engine out from underneath there. That one has our Brian Tooley Stage 3 camshaft in it. We're going to put that in this engine because if you remember, we couldn't get on the torque converter at anything over about 4,500 DA with the camshaft that's in here. This camshaft is just like the bejesus wrong for this engine apparently. So we're gonna yank this camshaft out, hopefully put our Brian Tooley Stage 3 back in, and then hopefully have a set of push rods to put in there so we can get this whole new package to work so much better. We literally have no room left in here, so I'm gonna be like a little goblin down here stealing camshafts. A little camshaft goblin. And honestly, in my garage, that's probably the safest place to store a camshaft. Hey, still in good shape. 16 AM line. What's funny is I keep telling myself I want a new balancer puller, but I can't justify it because the amount of times that I just pull my balancer off until I get around to pulling my balancer off. Then I'm like, damn, I wish I had that tool. Because this one be flexy as heck, and it scares me because I think this one's gonna like explode when I'm turning on it. It's so scary! Like that feels like a lot. Why don't you want to pull out? My pull-out game's so not good. I gotta put a face shield on, just in case it explodes. And I'm gonna stand behind it. That's smart. What the shit is going on? It literally just keeps bending the tool. I don't know if I have the tool on the right way or not, but it's still like, damn, that's a lot. I probably gotta flip it over, to be honest. Take two, but like the other way. Like I'm literally like bending this goddamn bar to get this thing off. I think we're just bending the tool again though. Well, let's just see. This is our tool. It looks... Our tool has no more threads in it. Well, that's gonna be really helpful for getting the balancer off this car. I can't believe how tight that is. That's like a bajillion tights, if that were measurement. Anyways, while we're figuring out what we're gonna do with the balancer here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean off the head surfaces so we can put the new heads on. You don't need to really have the heads off to change the camshaft out. The only thing that's gonna suck is finding top dead center again, but I do have a tool for that, so it'll be fine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this cool thing called compressed air. Never even knew about it. I'm gonna blow out some of the water that are down in the stud holes, and that way when you put your studs in, you're not pushing water out between the head gaskets and then you're trying to compress water, which is not good between your head gaskets. My hair wild, dude. Oh, Fabio. Once again, truck build coming in clutch. If you guys want to see me build a budget turbo 5.3 truck, make sure to follow that one. Here's our heads. You can tell that these ones are shiny and these ones are like not shiny. One thing I forgot to mention earlier though is that, look, this one is made for a 6-bolt block. This is the China head. This one doesn't have the thing for the 6-bolt block, but I feel like once you go 6-bolt block and bigger displacement, you're going to want something better than this anyways. This is probably like the master 5.3 head. And to put this on a 6-bolt block would just be a damn shame because, you know, it doesn't flow that much. We actually did get a bunch of parts in for our 5.3 turbo truck as well. Here's some head gaskets. Using all the same head gaskets for mine and that motor. That's just how good the LS9 head gasket is. Some new rings, some new cam bearings, valve seals, front and rear main seals. You know, just freshen it up. There's the aluminum block that's going in the truck too. But now that our surfaces are cleaned up, let's get some head gaskets put on this guy right here. Let's get some heads put on it and then start torquing them down because I need to figure out the pushrod length regardless if we change the cam or not. And that's crucial if we want to get it one more time this year. Somebody actually went through the process of vacuum sealing this shit. Look at how much plastic that is. And we can't have plastic straws, but look at this LS9 head gasket gets twice as much plastic as it needs. Just give me my gaskets already! Now it is labeled front over here, and if you do foobar that up, I hear that it's not good for the coolant passages, because I think something doesn't line up when you go the other way. It doesn't go both ways. I've always done it, and I don't even know if you're supposed to do it or not, but I like to use high-tack spray on my gasket just to make it double gaskety. It's red like Canada, eh? Delicate, Ricky. Make sure front goes to front. Here goes nothing, our brand new cylinder head. This was all Nick's bad idea. Here's an interesting one I didn't even think about until I found the scale out. The new cylinder head, 28.2 pounds. The old cylinder head, 32.6 pounds. So like 4.5 pounds, 5 pounds heavier for these heads. Now, that'd be cool if the weight was in the right spots to help like support the head, but I have no idea. It might just be in the longer valves. Unpack cylinder head number 2 and slide that baby on. It's starting to look like a motor again, boys. Motor. Motor just sounds cool. Motor. Okay, we're diving in the engine bay here. I have this pushrod length checker, which I've never actually used yet. I'm ashamed to admit, but I know that I need to check the pushrod length, so we're going to attempt to do it here. Don't take this as a how-to video, because I only just watched a video on how to do it. Like I said, not perfect at everything, but I try and do everything to learn how to do everything. Got it? So here's our majiggies down here. I think that's about as far as I can get the camera in the engine bay. We're gonna put a couple of these in here just to make sure that the rocker stands are in place. Why is this not seating in there very good though on the end? Can I even use these stands? And it doesn't look like it will. Technically I've got this aftermarket one, but as you can tell, it's already way higher than that one. And it does not fit either because this is for LS3 spacing. Sick. Well, it seems like it's high pointing on these pieces right here, so if I put them on there and then press on the middle flexes because they stick down a little more. Apparently you can cut these things off, so perhaps we'll try to cut those off. See if we get any success from that. Well, after a trip to the belt sander, we no longer have our little pieces here. Just kind of got rid of them because I said so. And they should fit in there now. Yeah, that looks better. This is our pushrod length checker tool. It starts at 6.800 and every one turn on our pushrod tool is actually 50 thousandths. So if we turn it out 2 full turns, it'll be 6.900. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go 1, 2, that's 6.900. 1, 2, that's 7. 1, 2, that's 7.1. 1, 2, 7.2. 1, 2, 7.3. 1, 2. Actually, we're gonna go in 1. That's 7.350. We're just gonna jam that in there and hope that the lifter's not up. And I just wanna see, because this will determine if we can use the push rods that I have or not. If there's 0 lash on this, well, then we will have the right push rods. If not, we don't have the right push rods. We're basically going to push the motor over until we see this push rod come up. There, it's going up right now. There we go. Now it should be down on the base circle. Now we're going to take a push rod out. This is 7300. Put that in there. So that's a lot of lash. Now pull that off. That's 740. Put that back in. So that's tight in there actually. 7350. Okay, so we have Lash at 7350, but not 740. 735. 7375. Yeah, I think that's our zero lash. 7, 3. So I can move it side to side and not up and down anymore. I can like physically hear it that it's like right there on lash. Here's our quick math on it. So we had 6.800, which is this thing at its bare minimum, plus 11.5 turns. So 6.800, 11.5 turns times 50 thousandths gives us 0.575, and we added that to our base number over here, which gives us 7.375, and that is for 0 preload. Now everything wants 50 to 70 thousandths preload on the LS, so if we add that in, that would be our 50 thousandths preload right here, so a 7.425, which is what I have in Gina's motor, plus, or two 7.445. Now the only thing I have lying around here is 7.400, in which case I could probably take Gina's out, put the 400s in hers, and take those ones and put them in this one. But, like I said, I'm not really sure what I should do with that now. I'm going to do the exhaust side real quick now, and then we'll have our numbers, and at least we know which push rods we need in there in order to make this thing work. Now, I don't know if when I did this last, I had enough pressure on the stand right here, because it seems to be flexing up just a little tiny bit. So I put it over here, and our 11.5 turns is actually way too loose on this side. So honestly, our 11.5 turns wasn't too far out because it's between 11.5 turns and 12 turns. It's literally between 11.5 and 12 turns, so it's between this number right here, which is 11.5, and 7.400, and then you have to add your 50,000 slash to it. Well, I've got this other 3-jaw puller. I really want to get this crank pulley off. It looks as if I take the jaws off it, I might be able to just put that in there if I get some bigger washers, and then I might be able to pull with this thing, and this thing's got to be much stronger than the last one. Stupid aluminum thing versus this nice beefy steel one. Steel thing Kyle's arms are made out of. So I'll find some washers now though. All right, watch me explode this thing now. That's not the same size as last time. Okay, why is this not tightening? Something is fishy here. Yeah, look how dumb these things are. I'm gonna make my own push rod, not out of Chinese stupid aluminum steel thing, whatever they used for this puller. This has gotta be the one! It's getting easy again though. What the frick? Man, I can't win. I can't get it. I don't know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it. Might have gas in it soon if I burn it down. Peace easy. Get that V.